Hi, I'm Branden Lemke with K-Fan. Here with Vikings free safety Eric Frampton.
Hello.
Just here to ask him a couple questions today. So, first of all, how have you been since our last interview?
I've been good. I've been good. I feel very blessed and fortunate to be back with Minnesota Vikings, and I'm doing really well. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man, you too.
You're doing good, and it's always good to see you.
Speaking of the new deal, I just was wondering, is that just for this year, or is that over a couple of years too?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of people ask me because when I signed my deal, it wasn't really public knowledge. I know it will be eventually, but I just kind of kept it, kind of under wraps, even from my from my family too, just because it was something me and my wife wanted to. I wanted personally to make the focus to be on the field and do well on the field, But it's a 3-year deal, so
Okay, sweet.
so I mean, but it's the NFL, so year to year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as we all know, the Vikings haven't necessarily been off to the greatest start this year. It just seems like we're a dominant team in the first half, and for some reason we have trouble closing out second halves. From a player's perspective, what would you say is just a couple of reasons why this has been happening so far?
To be honest, I don't really know. The one thing I can say is that, just looking at how we dominate our opponents in the first half, I would say that, mentally, we have to, because I don't think it's a conditioning thing. I don't think you can attribute it to anything else, And there are some things. I take that back. There are some things, on offense and defense. But if you look at the dominating performance, it's tough to say, oh, our offense isn't playing well, or oh, our defense isn't playing well. And so I think it's just maybe a mindset, and having experienced it twice, and then a third time this past weekend, it'd be kind of tough.
Yeah. Is it kind of like, I guess just a side question, for the locker room at halftime, is there anything that's been changing over the last few weeks? Is it kind of just Leslie Frazier to kind of keep you guys going, let's not let this happen again, or do you guys kind of do that with your own mentality?
Yeah, it's both. When Coach Frazier talks to us, we go in there and we don't even emphasize we don't even bring it up let's not let it happen again. It's
which is probably best too.
Yeah, it's better for the guys. And then we go in there and pretty much it's attack. Let's go out there. Let's attack our opponent. Let's now that we got them down, let's keep them there. And we just come out and it's kind of tough. So yeah.
What do you think we need to do in order to start getting back on track and winning football games too?
Honestly, I think that just finishing. I know I might be oversimplifying it a little bit, but I will say that just finishing. Because you can't, like I said, you can't really look at the offense and defense and say, oh, we're not playing well, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I'm sure there's always some things you can improve on, but I think the bottom line is just finishing, because our offense is playing well, defense is playing well, special teams is playing well, and then for some reason it's just we're letting them out the gate.
Plus, it's not like you're facing like teams that aren't expected to be good. You play some tough opponents with good quarterbacks. So.
You played some good teams, including Detroit. They've made a lot of changes. They got a lot of great players, and I would even say with that, that's even more reason why we should be finishing games, because we're playing good teams and we're pretty much dominating in the first half. So.
Yeah. We keep hearing things in the media and stuff saying that maybe it would help if we had a guy standing out Ray Lewis in Baltimore is kind of the guy that gets the defense going. Drew Brees in New Orleans. Do you think we have one of those guys in our locker room?
To be honest with you, I think we do. Donovan McNabb is a great leader. He's been around for a really long time, and I know that he really enjoys it here and he wants to be here. Adrian Peterson's another guy. On defense, we got a ton of vets. We got E.J. Henderson, we got Kevin Williams, we got just Cedric Griffin. And the list goes on and on. And we have guys that that know what to do in situations like that. And we have experienced vets. It's not like we're a young team. We have young guys here and there, but I think it's a good mix overall. And so, I think we got some pretty encouraging guys on this team.
That's good to hear. It seems like, the big story in the offseason was the lockout and how everyone, just kept wondering, is there going to be football? And then now that there is football, it's almost like we've forgotten about it. Yeah. But do you see, like, not just on our team, but maybe even around the league, do you think the lack of workouts in the offseason has affected how players play?
I don't. I mean, it could on an individual basis, but collectively, and even looking at our team, it's hard to attribute it to that when you see how every team started at pretty much the same level. Maybe some teams had less turnover than others. But to be honest, I think everybody had the same amount of time to prepare, and so in all fairness, it's something that everybody's competing at the same level.
Yeah, I suppose it helps. Like, no one really had an advantage. Just kind of you guys all went through that together.
Everybody went through the lockout together.
Yeah.
So.
Did you even have a shot of doubt that we wouldn't have football this season?
I was just optimistic. I wasn't. I was just optimistic, kind of in the middle. Like, if we have it, that would be awesome. It'd be amazing, not just for the team, but for the economy, for the fans, especially the fans. But now we have a season. Like you said, it's kind of like, oh, what lockout? It doesn't feel like there's a lockout. Everything kicked into gear so quick. So.
On special teams, you're considered one of the top guys on our special teams unit. With Heath Farlow gone, do you think that your role kind of extends as the special teams leader of ours?
We have a couple young guys, rookies that are playing on special teams. But when I look at Chris Cook and Asher Allen, Kenny Anatolu, we have a lot of guys who, when Heath was there, we were pretty cohesive, cohesive group, and we encouraged each other and got each other going. And so I think that that's kind of the case. To maybe I do have a little more experience than a lot of the guys, but at the same time I just I kind of take it from a humble point of view and just say, hey guys, I'm here to help you if you got any questions, things of that nature. But we all kind of pitch in and help each other out, encourage each other.
Can you see yourself representing the Vikings in the Pro Bowl one day as a special teamer?
Yeah, that would definitely be a blessing. I know in the game of football, that's everybody's goal, to play as well as you can. That's an honor, to do that. So I've been blessed to be in this position, and so that's going on.
Yeah, I hope to see it on one day.
Thank you.
But what are some kind of personal goals that you've set for yourself this offseason?
Personal goals. A lot of my personal goals. One of them would be practice with 100% effort every day. 100% alignment and assignment correct. And let me think of the lessons. So we got technique, alignment, assignment, and effort. Give 100% effort. On every play. And I think I make those my goals because those are like the foundational goals that can take me wherever I want to go. And I set my goals for practice too, because whatever I'm going to do in practice, if I practice enough, when the game comes, it's like a kind of carry over into the game. And so, yeah, that's it.
At the beginning of the season, the release of Medea Williams, we had an open free safety battle going on.
Yeah.
Were you kind of hoping to be more involved in that mix, or?
Let it be.
Yeah.
Let it be. Oh
yeah,
man. All right. Sorry.
I'll start that over.
Yeah.
So with the release of Medea Williams this offseason, we had an open free safety battle. Were you kind of a little disappointed that you weren't thrown into the mix as much, or were you throwing in more than the fans know?
You know what? I think with the in the off season I was a free agent, and so with the negotiations, there were a number of teams that that we were looking at, and when it came to Minnesota, it was I signed a contract, but the way I see it is that they pay me to do a specific job, because I do, I play special teams well. That's what they pay me for, so I kind of pour everything into that. But going along with that, it's safety. I think what I give to the Vikings is just understanding the defense. You know, if there's ever a game or where they need me to come in and play, that that I can go in and fill in. And one other thing I'd like to add is that a lot of teams won't keep 4 good safeties. I mean, the hope would be that there's 4 good safeties, but 2 guys have to be really great at special teams. And so I think that, when I look at it from that perspective, then it makes sense.
That's a really good point. You actually kind of did get a chance to get thrown in last year in Chicago, was it?
Yeah,
Chicago. You guys play? Yeah. How'd that little bit
it was fun. I enjoyed myself. Even playing special teams, it's not I don't just aspire to be a special teams player. The rest of my career. I love to play safety. So when I do get out there, I give it my best and enjoy it.
Sounds good. Should we take a break until?
I think he's gone. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I'm worried.
I've been worried a couple times. There's been cars going by.
Yeah, pulling up.
We'll make it work. So how do you feel that our new coaches have kind of adapted to this team? We seem to have new coaches at almost every position. We have, Leslie Frazier as the head coach, obviously. Bill Musgrave, offensive coordinator. Fred Puckett, he's been on the team, but not as a full-time defensive coordinator.
Right.
Like, how do you think these guys are adapting to their new roles?
I think they're doing well. I think that just like when you're putting a new team together, they have to kind of gel too, and get to know each other. It's kind of how they operate and stuff like that. So I think they're a good group of guys. Whenever you get a bunch of high character guys, which I know Coach Frazier is very keen. He's keen on. I think it makes it easier to kind of gel. So let's see.
We keep hearing he's a players coach. Like the players really are really excited to play for him. Is that kind of the sense you get too?
That is the sense I get because when he was a defensive coordinator, that's kind of why we played for him. And it wasn't from a he didn't take the stance that hey guys do what I say, but he's a current player who has a ring, and so it's like, hey guys, this is what we got to do to be successful. So when he was the D coordinator, it was kind of like a defensive thing, and now he's a head coach. It's the same thing. Guys want to play for him. And, you can see that every Saturday we come out kicking butt. So.
Out of the rookies, our rookie draft class this year, guys haven't got all that much to play in. Only 3 games, but is there anybody that's already standing out to you, or even some players that we're not seeing on the field that you think can make a big impact in the future?
Honestly, I really like Kyle Rudolph.
Oh yeah.
He's a big time player. I didn't know much about him before the draft, but just watching him in practice, he's amazing. He catches everything. It doesn't matter where the ball's put behind him. There's no bad throw. He just catches everything.
Even on Sunday, we made
the third down conversion, right? And it was a long third down, but just amazing hands. He's a great player, solid player. So very impressed. I'd love to see if it turned into like a Todd Heat or
The 2 tight end set, I really like that idea with we got Shank as the big guy, and then Rudolph who can make plays down the field too. I think that'll really come in handy.
I think so too. Gives a little more versatility. Yeah.
The Vikings seem to have a lot of new starters this year. We've lost, Sidney Rice, Ray Edwards, Nadia Williams. We have new guys that are filling in their roles, young guys too, like Marcus Sanford, Brian Robinson. Even on the offense, some new offensive linemen, new faces. Do you think that these guys are filling in their roles pretty well with who's left?
Yeah, I think they are. I believe they are because, even though they're young guys, I think if you look at, the organization, Coach Frazier's been there for a while. But then when he's a head coach and he wants to build up the program, the way he wants to do it.
Sure.
And so when you look at these guys that have 3-4 years of experience getting plugged in, it's like this is who he wants to build with in the future. And so, I'm excited. It's cool. He has the guys he wants in there, and really defining our team and who we are.
Definitely. I actually really agree with that. Just because some of these guys, if you look at about 3-4 years ago, we wouldn't really know who they are. Like,
Right.
These guys were special teamers at the time. Like Hussein Abdul, even he's probably one of the best safeties on our team right now.
Yeah.
He's very underrated, I feel. But it's just like I think he does a really good job of finding guys and putting them in places that you know people are like, who's starting?
Right.
And it's just like they're doing a really good job. I feel.
Great job. I agree.
Okay, so I gotta ask you this too.
Yeah.
You're a special teams guy, so I'm just I don't know. Are you out there? Are you out there blocking too, or are you just kind of?
I block too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm front line.
Okay. Who do you feel? Just give me a name out of these two guys. Better kick returner, Percy Garvin or Lorenzo Brooker?
They're both excellent.
Both excellent.
They're both really hard to go against in practice. Percy he's like explosive speed, long speed, world class speed, Book super fast, but the one thing I'd say that Book does well is he's very quick, and I know too, coming from California, I remember watching him in high school, and when he went off to college, I remember his huge thing, and but they're both amazing players. Percy's a one move and go. Book is a 1, 2, 3 moves and get out the gate.
It seems like they've both been just doing this for a long time. Like they can see anywhere on the field that they need to go if they have a chance to get there. They'll get there.
They're both special players, very special players.
It's definitely nice to have instead of like it's almost like we have a kickoff returner controversy.
It is. It's great, and with Percy, who knows how big his workload is going to be on any given Sunday. It's nice to have Book to step up and do the same thing, or if not better.
Okay.
So it's cool.
I just got one last question for you for a viewer from my Vikings Guy website. He wants to know, what is your proudest moment been as a Minnesota Vikings player?
Proudest moment, probably the championship game a few years back when I caused a fumble on Reggie Bush. It was just great to do something like that on such a big stage. It was a lot of fun, and to do it, on that stage, and then to do it for God was pretty cool. Because that is the main reason that I'm able to go out there and play, and the reason I do play. So.
Well, it's a very memorable moment too. Like I even had when they were commenting on this website about that question, they're like, "Oh, it's got to be that moment when he made Reggie Bush." It's like everyone remembers. So
it's great time, and leading up to it, we had a great season, and it was real relaxing, locker room fun. I mean, it was a fun season too.
It reminded me back in when Tarkenton was playing for us. It was awesome. You can't miss football back then.
It's tough. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can get to that point again.
It'll be fun. Myself and the team, I know we're looking forward to it. So.
Definitely. Well,
it'll be cool.
It's been awesome. Eric Frampton.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, see you
Thanks
too.
for having me.
Yep. Again, it's Branden Lemke from KFan, also write for Vikings Gap, so feel free to check it out. Follow Eric Frampton on Twitter too, @Frampton37.
Cool.